Hello, welcome to today's Launch and Learn session. Today we shall be looking at how to install or rekey SSL certificate. This is a bit technical, it's only meant for technical people. The objective of our discussion today would be to show how you can install a new SSL certificate on your web server. I'd also like to show you how you can configure or rekey new SSL certificate from your SSL issuing authority using GoDaddy as an example. And finally, we will like to show you how you can install one SSL certificate for multiple domains. Now, the very first thing that you need to do in installing SSL or renewing your SSL is that you need to create an CSR. Okay, so that's the very first thing that you need to do. Create a CSR. You can create a CSR file from your web hosting server. So there are two servers that are involved here. The first one is the SSL issuing certificate server, and the second one is your web hosting server. So you need to go to your web hosting server and create this file. Okay, so let me show you how you can do that. I'm using a web hosting company here, one web hosting server here, just for the purposes of this demo. So you need to log into your web hosting organization server, and then you go to SSL here, and then on the SSL here, there are three things you can do for this particular web hosting server. You can buy an SSL from this web hosting organization. You can generate a CSR file for SSL vendor. You can also import existing SSL certificate if you have one. And when you do that, you will be able to then take the CSR file to your SSL issuing certificate organization, and then they will use that to create the SSL certificate for you. Okay, so here, if I want to create one for myself, I will just click here, okay, and then click on create CSR file. Okay, so I can create one here, and once you click here create, you'll be able to generate a file for you like this. Okay, so this is one that I've just created from there. Okay, so once you create this file, the next thing, let's look at our slide again. So what's the second thing that you need to do? Let's go through our slide. So this second thing you need to do is to go to your issuing authority. Okay, there are many issuing authority in the world. GoDaddy is SSL certificate issuing authority. You can go to DigiCert, you can go to Sectigo, and there are so many of them. But I'm going to, give you example using a GoDaddy portal. Okay, so the first thing I say that you need to do here is to buy SSL certificate from a certificate issuing authority. The second thing you need to do here, they will create an account for you in their portal. So this is important. Okay, they will create an account for you. Use the account to buy and renew SSL certificate here. That's the essence of creating an account for you. Use the account to configure your new domain name for SSL installation. And then for those that are using multiple, we're going to show you how you can configure your domain using what is called SAN, subject alternative names. Okay, and of course, for those, these days it's quite possible to buy an SSL, one SSL certificate, and you can use it for multiple domains. So that way, I'm going to show you how you can configure your SAN so that multiple domain can use one key, one signature. Okay, use the account to rekey your certificate. Okay, so let's do the second demo, and we're going to stop. Let me also open, go to our issuing authority, which is GoDaddy. Okay, so I've actually logged on here. So I now go to my account. Remember, I said you need to generate a CSR file from your web hosting company, from the machine that you want to install, and then take it to your certificate issuing company. So here I've logged on because I use GoDaddy. Here I scroll down to SSL certificate, and I want to say manage certificate. Okay, I just want to show you how you can make those configuration and rekey your SSL certificate, so that, and then you download the certificate once it's issued to you, and then I'll show you how you're going to install that on your web server. Okay, all right. So here, this is what I mean. There are things you can do here. So this is where you can manage a certificate. Now, this is what I was talking about before. You can change your subject alternative name. This, for a new domain, you need to configure your domain here. Okay. So here, if you want to put a new domain, you just open here and click, type the name of domain here. It could be www.abc.com, or you can use abc.com. Okay. So either of those two, and you click on add. And then if you're using multiple domain, that like I have done here, you see that I've actually configured up to 10 domain here that will use the same SSL. So you keep adding them. Once you finish that, you submit changes. Okay. So that's number one thing that you can do. Trying to either install a new certificate, or you want to renew the old one. Okay. So once you finish putting the domain name, okay, but if you are renewing your certificate, you don't need to add the domain name, is already there. Like here, you see the domain names I have here, so they're already here. All right. So the next thing you want to do now is to rekey your certificate. This is very, very important. So you open here, rekey certificate. Now you go to your SSL CSR file, and you copy this file. Please make sure you don't lose any of this dot. Just copy all this file. You see the way I've copied? I right click and I say copy. All right. This is my certificate issuing organization, GoDaddy. It could be anyone, okay? But if you use anyone, if you're using any company or organization, they will show you how you can actually do this. So I come in here and I say paste. You paste that key here, all right, that you've generated from your server. And then you click on add, and then you click on submit all changes, okay? Once you do that, the company GoDaddy will, within 72 hours, generate a certificate for you. Okay, and once that is done, they will send you an email that a certificate is being generated for you. Okay, so you come here. Once you receive that mail, you'll be able to come here and pick the type of machine you are using. Is it an IIS machine, or is it a Apache machine if it's a Unix based or Linux based machine? Okay, so I use Microsoft environment, Windows based machine. So I use IIS. So you select on IIS and you download your certificate. Now, once you download your certificate, you're going to have these three files here. Let me make it bigger so you can see. All right. So here you have the certificate. Now you have these are the three files that you'll be able to download, that you see that is zip and sent to you. Okay. So these three files. Okay. This is the CSR that I generated. Okay. So here you can see this is your certificate. This is the PEM file. This is the key certificate, the key for the certificate. Okay. So what do you do now? You right click on this security certificate, right click on it and say open with Notepad. Okay. Because you want to copy the certificate now and go back to your web server and install. So you now say open. So it now opens the certificate that GoDaddy has generated for me. So again, you do the same thing again. You now copy this back to your web hosting company. Right click and I say copy. So let me go to my web hosting company again and show you how you can execute that. Okay. So I go to my web hosting company here. And then let me open any of this. It's not actually the request I made, but once you do, it's going to show you the request that you sent, and then the CSR that was generated for you. You open it back here and say install certificate. You now you copy here. You can now paste the certificate which was issued to you, and then you click and say install certificate. That's all that it takes. Okay, and then your certificate will be installed on your server. Okay, and once the certificate is installed, the next thing you could need to do is to be able to bind the certificate to the domain. Okay, so maybe I'll simply show you how you can do that. Well, this is my own web hosting server. You can find out from your web hosting server how you can do this, okay? But once you do that, do this, the next thing is to just bind the certificate to your server, bind the certificate to the domain, okay? So all the domain will be able to get the certificate. Now let me see how I can bind one here for an illustration, okay? So I have a server. This is the one that I installed for this POS analyzer. Okay, so it has expired. It expire in March 5th, 2022. So I can delete this one now. Once I install, because I'll just install a new one now. So what I want to do, once I delete it, I'm going to bind that new certificate that I've installed to this. If you don't bind, it's not going to work. And you choose your domain name here. That's the domain that we want to bind to the certificate that we just installed now. Okay, let's see if it's bind to www. Okay, so I can find the certificate now. I pick the certificate and add the binding, and I say okay. Okay, so that has been successfully done now. You will see it here. So the new one now is 2023. The one I deleted was 2022. This new one that I binded to this domain now is 2023. Okay, so if you go now and type the name of that domain, POS Analyzer, you need to test it when you're finished. You can see this padlock sign here. That shows you that this domain has now been properly issued. The certificate has been properly installed. But if you don't have this, it means it has not been installed properly. Okay, thank you so much. I just wanted to do this because a number of people has asked how they can install a certificate or a key SSL certificate on their domain server. Thank you. I'll see you in the next edition. Goodbye. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you found it interesting. I research and do video on subject of educational interest once every 2 weeks. One way you can receive an automatic update on your phone every time I post an update is for you to subscribe to this channel and click the notification bell below. Please do that now.